sat down last night and started thinking about, what is balance and who has balance in our industry. And I just Googled the definition of the word balance, and it comes as a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportion. Work life balance. Huh. Huh. How does that work, right? So a couple of you guys have already talked to you that we're going to do this. So I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. We're going to start with you, Rob. Talk to me a little bit about your goals. And that's a loaded question. There's a lot of goals. Take your time and just tell us some of your goals.
Goals like professionally? You're talking
personal, professional. There's not a wrong answer.
This year, my goal was from a volume perspective, 12 million. So 1 million a month. And transaction wise, 36 transactions. So 3 per month. And that's kind of the baseline for everything. And personally, I think one of the main things I try to do now, it's not always possible, but where possible, to put the phone up and be with my family from 5 to 7 p.m. And for the most part, I've been able to do that, which has been good. And I know you're just asking me to state my goals, so I shouldn't say that. But I try to keep it 5 to 7. Now there will be showings sometimes that have to happen, but I try to push those away. I don't just say, "Oh, sure, 5:30, perfect," because we have 2 toddlers, 1, 2, and then one that's 1 year old and 1 year old, and it's difficult for just one person. I'm sure you know. So the other would be from a personal standpoint, to go on 2 dates a minimum a month with my wife, and one either with family, it could be, or ideally one without. Now getting a babysitter sometimes plays into that, but that's the goal there. And I think this is kind of a mix of personal and professional, but gearing ourselves up to a point where we can start investing in real estate. Not there yet.
So a financial goal.
Yeah.
Cool. Which ties to your 3 sales a month, 36 a year, $1 million, 333,333.33 price point. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Jared, jump in. Give us your goals. Just talk, same to Rob. And I'm just taking some notes here that's going to help drive the rest of our conversation, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll kind of go down the same path as Rob, starting out with a numbers goal as far as real estate and transactionally. My goal going into next year is going to be to try and capture that $25 million mark, increasing that from where I'm at now. And then from a transactional, number by number, it's going to be probably 80 transactions is what I'm going for. As far as personal goals in life, I think I want to get to the point where I'm able to spend more time with family. That's been a lack that I want to improve. Kind of what we talked about with work-life balance. It's been a challenge. So that's something that I want to set as a goal and try and capture that goal. And then investing wise, I want to attain at least 3 more properties in 2023. So
awesome. Big goals. That's great stuff, guys. So can you tell me, and Jared, you can start, if somebody said elevator pitch, who is Jared Cowan? You have 20 seconds, 30 seconds, ready, go. And that's tough on the spot, so we'll hang with you, but what is your identity? How do you identify yourself?
I probably identify myself by my career right now. I don't know that I want that to be the case long term, but yeah, if someone asked me who I am as a person, I would first say I'm a realtor in Indianapolis. And then I would go into probably talking about my personal life. Have a girlfriend, have a dog, live in Indianapolis,
Kind of dog.
I have a golden retriever.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. They shed everywhere, huh?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not to that phase.
Good. And Rob, go ahead. What about you?
Oh man. I would say I'm a dad first, husband, and then I would go into I'm a realtor here in Indy. I'm like Jared, like I feel like my career kind of defines me, but certainly not before my family. But a friend and a competitor that likes to have fun.
Nice. Yeah. Dude, that's great, right? So I'll chime in and identify myself. And this is something that is really I'm passionate about, right? So like one of the things, and there is no wrong answer, but one of the things that happens in our industry when somebody says, "How's your year going?" How's your year going? Well, it's tough, the market. It's great, the market. We've sold this, we've done this much, we've done that. We never go, my son did this, my wife did that, my daughter did this. I took 9 vacations. And so we identify ourselves, and both of you guys said this, and it's not a wrong answer. But when you talk about balance, as defined as a condition in which elements are equal or in the correct proportion, both of you said, I want to spend more time with family. Rob, you want to have 2 dates a month
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes work. And Jared says, I want to spend more time with family, but I'm not in that phase yet. I would identify myself as a professional. Those are not wrong answers. But when people sell you the dream of balance, that you could go to the store or you could turn your TV on at 11 p.m. on channel 99, and it says for 3 low payments of $9.99 over the next whatever months, you get balance. You get this product, you get this thing, you get this dream. And the reality is, guys, like there is no such thing as true work-life balance. It's just life. And so the phase of life for Jared and the phase of life for me and the phase of life for Rob are all totally different right now. So if you said, Alex, how do you define yourself? I would say, and this changed in the last handful of months, dad, husband, son, brother, team lead, realtor, investor, friend, real estate coach, and on we go, right? So how do we determine what that all looks like? And how do you decide where you create your decisions? So Rob, I'll ask you a question. This is a tough one, and I didn't prepare you for this. You haven't sold a house in 45 days. The market has shifted. Things are tough in the Mager household. You're feeling some strain. Your goal of $12 million is feeling out of reach, but you're committed to the idea of a date night, and that's what you're going to do. You got your date night scheduled, and bam, right around the corner from your home is the best house on the market. And your best friend calls you and says, we got to get in now. I leave town in the morning. This is the dream home we've been talking about. What do you do?
Wow. Yeah, that's on the spot. I
Not a
feel like
wrong
this is
answer.
where I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like that's the sell to me. I don't know. I would try to better understand what's going on, what's happening with my situation with Whitney and I, and like my gut says I'd probably try to find a way to explain to her the situation that you just
Yeah,
unveiled.
how do you do both?
Yeah. And say, can we push this back an hour? Stupidly, probably, because if they love it, they're going to want to write an offer, this or that. So I don't know. I guess I'll be honest. I probably would try to find a way to go show the house. And then go back to dinner or tell her that we're going to go to dinner tomorrow night or something, which would probably not sit well with Wit, but yeah, I mean, that's conflicting. Gosh.
Right. So reason I ask questions is I've lived the life. I've done that stuff. I felt those things. I still feel those things. And I think it was 2015, Easter Sunday. I'm sitting at my parents' house in Valpo. My mom has just cooked Easter dinner. At this point in my life, I was seeing my parents less than 5 times a year. House hits the market. A client of mine, Catholic, Alex, this house just hit the market. Can we see it now? Yes, we can. I'm 3 hours away. I'll schedule the showing for 3.5 hours from now. And my mom looks at me and goes, "What is the matter with you?" At that phase of my life, all that mattered to me ahead of every single thing that I was doing was my business. And it was so I could create opportunity and leverage down the road to where I could have different priorities and different goals and different standards and different boundaries, right? So I drive down, I show the house. The client doesn't, they put an offer in, it doesn't get accepted. Him hop back and forth. Alex, we're going to continue to rent. 3 months later, hey, Alex, we bought a house with another realtor.
Mm. Mm.
What a time, what a business, right? Why would you do that, Alex, to your family who supported you your whole life, who loves you, who cares about you more than anything in the world on the time that's important for you with your family? Why would you do that? I had no boundaries. I had no balance. All I did was work. All I cared about was work. In 2017, I just started dating Maureen. It was 2017, 2018. We're sitting down to dinner. I had come home from showing a house to a client that was referred by her. And I'm like, hey, I got to crank this offer out. Coincidentally, on the other side of the transaction was Daniel Leeper. I said, hey, Daniel, I'm going to slam this offer on the table and you're going to sign it tonight. And I'm going to get it to you in half an hour. And I walked in the door, like that was a conversation. I walked in the door, dinner's on the table. And I pulled out my laptop, slid the plate to the side, and worked and ate and worked and ate. And Maureen, who, God love her love language is quality time,
Oh boy.
looks at me and goes, I'm just going to kindly ask that you never do that again. If you're going to work, work. If you're going to spend time with me, spend time with me. If we're going to have dinner together, we're going to have dinner together, but we're never going to do that again. Because to her, who at that point had started to become the most important person in my life, it was, I can't only care about my job anymore. So we sat down and I said, help me understand the things that are most important to you. Alex, I love the fact if we could have dinner together every night, 5 days a week. Can we do it? That's kind of a stretch, but probably 3 to 4, I can definitely make that happen. And I'm happy to do it with you. And I love that you want to have that, because the dinner table is a great place for community and family and growth and conversation and a wrap to the day. And then after dinner, if it's, hey, I don't have any work to do, we watch a show together. If it's, hey, I've got work to do and I'm going to be in it. Cool, I'm going to go watch a show by myself. If you get done early, we can pop something on. If not, no big deal. Crystal clear communication, crystal clear understanding of the priority in the list of priorities in our life, right? So we look at this balance that we try to say we have, or we try to say we pursue, and we then look and we say, what are the boundaries that we set? And when everybody tells you when you get your real estate license, they say, why do you want to do this? And they say, oh man, I love the flexibility and the freedom, and I just want to help people see homes, and I just love real estate, and I just want to control my schedule. And
are they super country like that?
Oh, that's exactly how it is. I remember sitting in the class, and as you look, the only way that you control your schedule is if you have personal boundaries set around your business in your life, that when those instances, like I asked Rob, come up, you know what you do. And you may never know, and there may be the opportunity that comes up that's a unicorn that you say, Maureen, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. What would you like me to do? And you have to be comfortable with that, because our business does not care about life at home. And I think if you look at the last 2 to 3 years at the pace of the market, your clients, friends, family, best advocates screaming from the mountaintops about how amazing you are. If you can't get them in the house, or you don't have somebody who can, somebody else will. And I'm really sorry, but this was the best home for our family. So how do you make those determinations is the question, right? And one of the things that we all look at, and we all have, whether we know it or not, are true core values: business, friendships, relationships, people. What are your core values? So when you ask yourself these things, you create your value system, whatever that is. I spend time with Maureen in the evening. Well, I have a client that always texts me at 8 o'clock at night. I will respond to all your texts in the morning. I'm spending time with Maureen and my kids. It's the first time I got to see him. It's 8 o'clock. I'm sorry. And if they can't respect that, you get to make the decision as the business owner to say, I love you, I care about you, client, friend, but I'm not the fit for you. Here is somebody that can take care of you between the hours of 6 and 10 p.m. We'll work together. I'm here if you need me. But that time is my time with my kids. Like you said, Rob, I try to power down the phone at 5 o'clock. So as a dad of twins, new to the process, comes home every day and tries to either pick the kids up or be home when they get home at 5 o'clock with business, with the team, with wanting to go to the gym, wanting to be healthier, wanting to prepare dinner, and all these things of life. And then your phone rings and somebody needs help. How do you do it? And so you take that value system and then you get crystal clear with everybody that's around you. So one of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago is having a personal board of directors. My team knows the personal core values that I have. I know the personal core values of my team members. I know the personal core values of Maureen, and Maureen knows how important my team is and the business is. So there are times where it is, I have to do this. It will take 10 minutes, but after 10 minutes, I will put the phone down and I'll address it after we put the kids to bed. And I will tell you, sometimes I fail miserably. Sometimes it's the worst. We bought this thing for our kids so you can feed 2 kids at once. It's called a Milky Mate. It's a reverse neck pillow with a scrunchie. You hook it up to their neck, you put them in a boppy, and they lay there and feed themselves. It's a blessing and a curse. Alex, why don't you feed Michael? I hear you. I know. Okay. Right? Because figure out what your priorities are, figure out what your values are, and then get crystal clear with everybody around you so they hold you accountable to those goals, to those values. Because you can't set the boundaries on your own. If you go to your friends and say, I'm doing sober October, I'm going to exercise 20 days in the month, and your best friend calls you 4 days a week and says, you want to go out for a drink? Don't you think there's time to make a change in the life or the evaluation or a conversation that you need to have with that person who's supposedly a great friend of yours? If you get crystal clear with the people in your life about what your goals and aspirations are and what your values are and what your goals and what you want to accomplish and the most important things in your life, when you talk to those people, they should either support you or you should trim them out. Doesn't mean completely, but maybe for the month of October, when so-and-so texts, it's, hey brother, sober October, I'll talk to you in a month. Uncomfortable, hard, sometimes a little nauseating, because it's like, man, we used to always hang. We used to always do this. I didn't used to have 2 kids. I didn't used to have my wife. I didn't used to have a team that we support or a business that I'm passionate about. I didn't used to have to sell 80 houses in a year. You waver on those goals, you're breaking the code. And if you're breaking the code, that code that you set is an impact to the people that you set the code for. Whitney, I know that we have a date night twice a month. I know it's October 31st and we've only had one. I'm sorry, what would you like me to do? I want you to show the house, Rob. Okay, can we do 3 dates in November? And I'll take the kids tomorrow and go get a pedicure or go do something you love or go do something that brings you joy. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. Yes. That is balance. That's how you get balance. When the pendulum does this or this, you go to the people and say, pull it back for me. Help me pull this back. So for me, rewind. Alex, why'd you build a team? Why do you have the business you do? Why do you do what you do? In 2020, in June, pandemic's raging, uncertainty of everything. And Maureen and I say, let's get away and let's go to Lake Tahoe. And I stand on Lake Tahoe and I'm looking at the water and I got an agent on the phone ripping me over $300. And I'm on this vacation that's like however many thousands of dollars. It's 8 o'clock there. We had just finished dinner. It's 11 o'clock in Indy. And I'm standing here and I'm looking at the beach, nature, the water, and the mountains, getting railed over $300. And Maureen says, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm never dealing with this again. Fast forward December 2020. We had just gotten married in October. And we go on what we consider our couple-day honeymoon to get away because you couldn't fly anywhere. So we fly to Florida. And I write an offer. And I am negotiating the deal. Text my client and say, hey, I need you to sign the acceptance based on our conversation. If all is good. Is all good? Yes, all is good. Can you sign? Can you sign? Can you sign? Up goes the plane with no signatures. I land with about 6 voicemails, one from my lender, one from the client. I have a question about this, and one from the other realtor that says, we got another offer that's better than yours. I go from celebrating our marriage, time with Maureen, working on my vacation, come back to absolute chaos in the airport. And she looks at me and goes, let me guess, never again. I said, I'll never write offers on vacation again. 4 months later, Daniel joined the team, and I've never had to do that ever again. So there will be things in your life that will force you to make these decisions if you don't do them for yourself. My dad he has pretty tough health. So anytime he calls and says, hey, you want to come watch a game? That moves up to the list of everything else, because at some point that phone call is not going to happen anymore. And so when we talk to people and it's like, how are you going to learn, or how is it going to help you, or what can we do? Sometimes it's crisis. Sometimes it's losing a deal. Sometimes it's having a client go, Alex, we tried to get a hold of you. You were flying across the country. Sorry. Sorry. I need a new client and I need help. Lesson learned. We have a guy on our team. He's got 2 jobs. One is a realtor. One is a sports broadcaster. Matt, are you in this call?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things we've been working diligently with Matt on is creating boundaries and goal setting and organization and balance. And so Matt, can you talk a little bit about what we've started doing in terms of helping your decision making to create a calendar and a schedule and balance?
Yes. I'm finishing up a book that Alex gave me called It Takes What It Takes. And in that book, the author talks about this idea of the illusion of choice. And basically, the long and the short of that is, you have a goal. And for all of us, it's I want to be great. I want to be a great dad. I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great realtor. I want to sell $12 million worth of real estate. I want to buy 3 properties, whatever it is. You set those goals. And then inevitably, as we've been talking about, things pop up that could potentially get in the way of achieving those goals. And the illusion of choice is there really is no choice.
You just do what you have to do to achieve what you want to achieve. And it kind of goes back to like, what are your principles and what are your values? And then anytime something comes up, it's like, well, does this fall in line with the principles that I've set? If the answer is no, then there is no choice to be made. It's just, I'll get to it later. And if it does fall in line with the principle that you've set, then you do it. And obviously in this business, time is really of the essence. We all have 100 things going on at once. And one thing that I've fallen victim to is having 2 jobs and also a wife and a kid and another one on the way is not budgeting time in advance and being the guy that just picks up my phone when a Zillow lead comes in and I'm at dinner, or a client says, hey, I want to write an offer, and I'm in the car. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've done that. Molly and I are on our way somewhere and I'm in the car. She's driving. I've got my laptop open with my hotspot on, and I've got the lender on the phone. The client's texting me, and I'm writing an offer. And so anyway, Alex and I have started meeting once a week. One thing that's been really beneficial is, for me, thinking about, okay, what do I have this week from a personal standpoint that I have to budget around? And so for me, every morning it's, my workout, my devotional, and time with my wife and my daughter. So I just budget that time, and I don't turn my phone off of do not disturb until that time is over now. Whereas I used to just pick up calls as they would come in. And that's pretty much it. But I think for me, just taking that concept of the illusion of choice and like determining what your principles are and your values are, and then actually doing something with that, budgeting around or scheduling around those principles, it becomes a lot clearer what you have to do that day and then what you're going to say yes or no to.
So that's amazing. And thank you for all of that, Matt. One thing that, and Drew's not in here, Drew's on fall break, so work-life balance, right? But one thing that Drew is masterful at is talking about how him and Lindsay take the most important family things in their life and they put them on the calendar first, and then he works his business back into that. And while there are times that you cannot, the showing comes up. Rob, one thing that we never even talked about, who in your support system around you can show the house for you?
Yeah, that was
Right?
another thought after I was done talking.
Yeah, right.
That's
Like,
certainly something that I've done before.
so it's like surrounding yourself with people that support your goals and dreams, right? That is a foundational pillar of our team. It's the foundational pillar of many people in the call today, and part of EXP and part of the group that, we're friends and work with. So it's like, I can't do this. I have to, this is more important. Can you please jump in and help? And then if you have nobody else that can help you, that's when you have a decision to make, right? So wrapping up Matt Schumacher's conversation, one of the things that we started talking about is I said, look, let's scale this down real easy for you. There's 4 things in your life that you are right now. And this is my outsider perspective. And he gets to take this and then mold the conversation of it accordingly. Matt's a dad. Matt's a husband. Matt's a broadcaster, because that's his biggest dream in life, is to make it in that field. And then Matt is a realtor. So when a decision comes up, illusion of choice, right? Is there a choice to make? Does this make me a better dad, a better husband, a better realtor, or a better broadcaster? Devotional, gym, quality time? Yes. Beers with the boys? Man, it's fun. Man, it's great to cut loose. And once in a while, you need to do that. But in that instance, what is the choice? 1, 2, 3, 4. Matt's about to be as busy as he is all year. Professionally in real estate, he's had more success in the last 30 to 60 days than almost anybody on our team. Walking into his passion of calling basketball games. How is he going to do it? Dad, husband, realtor, broadcaster. And he gets to create the order and he gets to make the decision. And what we often hear people say is one thing, Rob, you said earlier, man, I'm a competitor, healthy, things like that. What do? I don't have time for that. Show me your calendar. Show me your calendar. Let's look at it. Let's open it up together. I guarantee there's massive gaps in it. Well, I leave that for this. You leave it for chance. So when there's not chance, what do? Are you disciplined enough to close the computer and go to the gym? Are you disciplined enough to go, Whitney, I'm going to surprise you. I'm picking you up. I know the kids are at school, daycare, whatever. We're going on a surprise lunch date. I've got an hour in my day. Or do you just schedule everything? My real estate coach will show me a schedule. He schedules his personal time. He schedules his personal opportunity. He has his evenings are all blocked and it has his daughter's name in the color pink. His working time, his prospecting time is green, money. His non-negotiables, the gym, exercise, whatever it is red. Can't touch it. Doesn't move. So when you have decisions to make every single day and you look around and somebody says, and look, we're approaching tons of questions about the real estate market, interest rates at this, negative stuff about that. Gary V posting about save your money, don't buy expensive coffees, and don't flex and don't spend. Inflation, gas prices. Woo! Right? So when you do those things and you go through those things and you approach those things in your life, professionally, we're realtors, right? We sell real estate. We have clients. We contact our clients. We work our database. We work our sphere. Does anybody have it scheduled in the call? And if you do, I'll buy you lunch. Who has scheduled prospecting time? I'll buy you lunch if you do. Jump in and say it. Nobody. Nobody. Unless you want lunch, jump in. You could fib too. So our job is to prospect, support, and help and grow and do. But nobody has scheduled prospecting time of opportunity of when you're going to go find your clients, when you're going to go touch base with your clients, when you're going to call your leads, when you're going to call your open house. You leave it all to chance. When I have time, I'll do this. How can you create balance if everything is left to chance? Questions to ask, right? So then let's say hypothetically, somebody leaves this call and says, I'm going to schedule prospecting time every single day. Amazing. And believe it or not, I just went to conference. I saw a team that does $700 million of real estate based out of California. It's a team of about 50 to 60 agents. #1 team in San Diego. They have a roundup meeting every day between 8:15 and 8:30 that they have to be in for. Then they prospect from 8:30 to 10, and then they do lead follow-up, which is considered different than new lead prospecting, from 10 to noon. Somebody raises their hand and says, what if a contractor calls and needs to get in a house? What if a client calls and needs to get in a house? How many leads, how many contacts, how many opportunities can you set up in that hour and a half prospecting time? Showing opportunity will be there. No house is selling in 40 minutes anymore. Why are we so disrespectful to ourselves? And it's because we compromise our boundaries, we compromise our values, we leave things to chance. And then in turn, we work in a world of chaos, right? Things to think about, things to challenge you guys on. If you're too busy, I'm too busy to exercise, I'm too busy to walk, I'm too busy to do this, show me your calendar. I promise there's time in there, because I do the same thing. We get slammed with work, we're overwhelmed, we're exhausted. And instead of having it on the schedule to go do something, if it's an appointment, we'll go, no matter how tired we are. If it's a date, we're going to do it. If it's dinner with your family, sure. It's your prospecting, it's your business, it's your life. Are your biggest priorities in your life on your calendar? If not, nobody wants to walk in and have your wife go, all you do is work. Hello. You've been working like this for this much time. Is there a way that we can help get help to your business, to you, to your schedule, to your deal? Can you hire a coach? Can you hire a mentor? Who's holding you accountable? Have your core values changed? Maureen knows now that with kids in our life, she kind of looks at me with some of the stuff we have going on and goes, is all this necessary? To which I then have to look and evaluate and say, I need to readjust my core values. I need to readjust the clarity levels of A, B, C, and D, and probably remove these distractions. Thank you for holding me accountable. Because if not, our industry will let us respond to every single opportunity. We're reactive to everything. There's no proactive behavior. You think you need a coach? Get a coach. You think you need an admin? Hire an admin. You're unsure? Hire an admin. Because if you're unsure, something will happen in your life that will force you to do it. Who has any questions? Anything they want to add?
I know this has been something that you and I have talked about a lot, Alex. Having 2 kids at home as well, and before I even got into real estate, that was the exact conversation I had to have with Amanda. Was she's like, all right, you're not working every night, you're not working every weekend. We come first, and and same thing with what Drew said. Schedule your family time first. If I wouldn't have been able to do that and have like the systems in place, which is why I joined the team, was to have the support so that I can go on vacation and not, stress about a deal falling apart or, a client getting pissed off and all that kind of stuff. It has made the ability to be both a career minded individual and a father and a husband like possible, like all in the same world that I was at the beginning. I was like, well, I can't tell clients no. I can't tell my wife no, like, and you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I remember the first time I told one of my clients that, hey, my phone goes on the counter at this time. Feel free to call, but if I don't answer, I'll get back with you in the morning. I got to take care of my family. And he looked at me straight in the face and said, I appreciate that. Thank you for telling me. That way, like, he didn't think that I was just ignoring him, and I think it's when it comes to working with our clients, transparency, honesty, it goes a long way because most of them have families and have lives as well. And I think they can understand that and value that. Some don't, some will just run all over you. They don't care, but the ones that are supposed to be there, the ones that you're supposed to love on and care for, clients that'll be there for life, they get it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, was getting past that hurdle of having that tough conversation with the clients and saying, hey, this is what's important to me, both you guys and my family. So I have to find a way to make it work.
That's awesome, man. And it's been cool to see. And what's awesome, Thano, is like when you and I sit and we talk and we work and you go, man, I know I've told you I want to do 2 deals a month. I'm falling short of that. Okay, how do you feel? Well, I want to do more business. Okay, what's your conversation like at home? Because there's some compromises you can make somewhere. Can you prospect differently? Is there an opportunity to show houses at night that you can pick up if you answer the phone a couple more times? Yeah, I'm going to get on the same page, and then I'm going to ramp some of this up, and then we'll ramp it up a little bit. We'll get the pipeline a little more full, and then we'll shift back. And if it gets out of hand, we'll let you know. And so it's value systems, crystal clear about what you're going to do and how you're going to operate, and then hold yourself accountable to that and have the people around you to do the same thing. But the last thing you ever want is to have these goals and these dreams that don't align with everybody else in your life, because it creates chaos and their crisis will occur. Somebody will not tolerate it. It could be a client, it could be a friend, it could be a spouse, family member, a kid. My biggest fear is hearing one of my kids go, Dad, all you do is work. I hear stories from realtors like that, and it is horrifying. Like, that's got to be the most empty feeling in the world. You care about your client, you're passionate about your career, you love your kids, you love your wife. How do you balance it? This is how you do it. Or at least something similar to this. Anybody have anything else? I have a huge extension on this that I was supposed to get into and kind of got shorted on time, but it's about something called the Wheel of Life. And what I'll do is I'll do an extension of this and do a secondary how to create boundaries and how to understand some of, I guess, what your personal balance points are through essentially a wheel of life. So what we'll do is we'll table this for a second opportunity and a second conversation down the road, and we'll just bridge off of that. So thank you everybody for coming. Next week, we're going to do our call on personal branding, which will be really, really fun. We all are individuals that have priorities, have identities, have success that we're pursuing. So what we're going to help you guys do and understand is how to create personal brand and then how to utilize that brand to help you generate more business and a better life. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you jumping in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Love it. Thank you.
Bye guys.